Dang, it's funny how time flies. Because today is the month, well, we already seen the beginning of March since yesterday. And today is March the 2nd, 2020. And I feel like I owe y'all a video from last weekend. Yeah, that's right. This is yours truly, Taylor Jones, saying what's up to all. And I welcome you to a brand new episode of Cold Man's Winter. Brought to you by the fact that I'm actually, what's that word? To make up for not doing a video last weekend, but so much on my mind right now. And of course, for all college students, we all know that this is the week that nobody wants to think about, but at the same time it's important because we're about to see half of the spring semester in college over with. Because, okay, what the heck am I kidding? It's midterm week, ladies and gentlemen. That's all you need to know. And for this Cold Man's Winter episode, now last week I talked about sexual harassment. I gave y'all a story about how sexual harassment has led one guy to feel humiliated, manipulated, and decided to do something about it. And one thing he did was quit his job. That way he wouldn't be caught up in the same position like he was with his boss. But this time it's different. So this episode, I want to focus more on the word stalking. Now, I know what you're thinking. What on earth is stalking? Like, how do you know, and why is it really simple to get involved and try to find it hard for you to get out this situation? Well, because a lot of people, like in reality, we know that individuals who get stalked on, they ended up missing, kidnapped, and later on found dead. But as a friend or a family relative, it's on us to keep our eyes open and also pay attention to the news and the movies that we see. And I think that the main purpose, like, what's the meaning of stalking? It's like to come up. It's like to come up to another person in a taunting manner. Like, you try to be sneaky. Now, I'm going to tell you like this. It is not a good thing. It can get you caught up. How do I know? I've been in this position. I'm not ashamed to tell y'all the truth because I can't hold this pain anymore. And I know y'all don't have to earn that pain as much as I do, because stalking, it can really get on a lot of people's bad side. Even your friends and family are warning you to stop, and you keep doing it. Like, it's like a drug. And Bokeem Woodbine said it best. But instead, he said thinking is as addictive as crack. Because once you start, you can't stop. Caught Up, 1998. Now, when it comes to stalking, that's like, oh boy, it gets out of hand. Not only in the personal space, but in social media too. You never know what happens. And right now, as you can see, I got my lyrics. It's a rap song that I wrote a long time ago, and it's entitled Stalking Must Die. And it goes something like this. There was a guy named Tom, age 14, who had a major crush on a girl named Maxine. age 17, and she was a cheerleader. He really wanted to please her by giving her letters saying hi, but he had one flaw. He was completely shy. But Maxine accepted his letters that she received, and some of Tom's friends were not even angry. Like Rick James, it was fire and desire, causing Tom to become Maxine's secret admirer when nobody else had to know. In other words, he kept it on the down low. He wrote a lot of poems expressing his feelings, trying so hard to make the situation appealing. He even had a couple of dreams and receiving a first kiss on the lips from Maxine. But little did Tom knew she was a senior preparing to leave high school, and she's focused on someone her age, and the drama began, not in a couple of days, but months. But I'll save that for verse number 2. For some of you don't have a clue. That's why I'm singing this song. Correct me if I'm wrong. Stalking must die, and my word is bond. Around 3 months later, drama started to arrive. Tom was over the top with his disguise, and that's when he did the most redundant things. He looked up her address and giving her some change. Maxine received $20 a week. And that's when she had no other choice but to speak. She told her friends that someone's scaring her for a while, and one of Tom's friends didn't smile because he discovered why Maxine was miserable, and he told her who done it. Uh-oh. And he later told Maxine's crew, along with Tom's other friends, to meet up with Tom and put this creepy behavior to an end. On Tuesday, Tom was going to his locker, but everyone surrounded him, calling him a stalker. Stalker! 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 And Tom's friends were mad, yelling at him while Maxine's friends started exposing him. And a piece of paper was given, a letter from Maxine, who was afraid of him, asking Tom to leave her alone. She's into 17-year-old boys, and Tom should have known, which led him to falling on his knees, and everybody mad at him, they started to leave. He was a jerk all along. He knew he was wrong. Stalking must die, and my word is bond. Now, after a couple months alone and ashamed, the entire high school, threw dirt on his name. But Tom was not going to let that slide, for he knew it was time to make things right, and he stopped acting shy. He found Maxine still hurt, but told her the truth in person for what it's worth. For an apology was required. He even admitted that he was her secret admirer. And the school got quiet. He walked off, and some individuals, they started crying. Since he had no friends, he walked outside the door. He got on his knees and prayed to the Lord. He paid more attention to school than any other girl because he lusted, and there is no way in the world that he would do that ever again. He even showed up to Maxine's graduation to support her as a real friend would do. But he didn't turn back after graduation was through. However, Maxine ran to Tommy with tears in her eyes, and then they started hugging for 30 seconds. The longest hug, for she forgave him for what he has done. And I conclude this song. You know what's going on. Stalking must die, and my word is bond. Now that song was based on some real life events. Like when it comes to stalking habits, based on a kid, like a teenage kid. But Mostly men and women, they do that every day. It's not just a man thing. It's not just a woman thing. Everybody's doing it. And it's getting out of hand. So why would I think about talking about stalking for this episode of Cold Man's Winter? Because I get the feeling that some people, they just want your attention, but they go on it. I mean, they go off and do it in the wrong way. Now, what type of way is that? Like, you want to get somebody's attention. Back then, we used to say hello. Like, some people, when it comes to this evil deed, they decide to go far beyond. Like, know the true person. Some people flirt with them. Some people try to do nice things, but unfortunately, the other people that the stalkers are get in contact with, they don't know them like that. Look, I know for a fact that sometimes you just want to meet new people. This position is nothing new to me. And I already admitted that I was not ashamed to tell y'all the truth, because when it comes to stalking, you can take this very, very deep. It's like a lot of people, they're watching you. But not only that, God is watching you. He frowns on every man and woman who has the audacity to keep continuing to do what they do best, although it's because of pleasure or lust. I mean, they see something, but they trying to get close to it and close to it. Now, for stalking, ooh, you can have your limits, but if you go over it, that's when you know that everybody can turn out. Like, for some of y'all would consider, like, the way that people acting like they want you to stop doing that, and you continue. They're trying to play the cop role. Next thing you know, you will see yourself arrested by your own parents, your own friends. You can even lose your job for doing that. That can be part of sexual harassment, though. Stalking? Really? Yes. But who knows? I mean, it's more than meets the eye. It's like sitting right by somebody, making them uncomfortable after 3 months. And that's what the 14-year-old Tom has been doing. Maxine don't know her that way. Know him that way. She doesn't even like it. And she'll be disappointed why she keeps getting $20 a week dollars a week. I mean, Tom wasting his time because he figured he was falling madly in love, but it's just hard to live by. I fell in love with an individual when I was in the 6th grade, and she was in the 8th. I made a song about it. I wrote a song about it. And she socked it to me. She ain't playing. Rip the letters. She's tired of your bull crap. Well, get rid of this stupid nonsense. Just say hello. Hello, is it me you're looking for? Unless you want to make a friend, that's how it's supposed to go. Say hello. Compliment her. Compliment him. Just watch your boundaries. Don't cross them. You know what I'm saying? And not to mention, we already notice some stalking in the movies that we see. Like earlier I said that sometimes stalking can lead to people getting missing, kidnapped, abducted, never heard from again, end up as hostages. And the police are trying their very best to by telling one family, we're going to find your daughter, we're going to find your son. All because he or she was stalked upon. I mean, it can happen, like at the night, mostly at night. Like, y'all walking home on your own, and the party was over, and you're trying to find a way back. You already know how to get home. But when it comes to random folks that trying to get your attention in the wrong way, oh, you better be prepared. Even if it means to strap yourself up. But don't be in this position, because sometimes when you get yourself prepared, like you strapped up like mace, taser, and whatnot, that ain't gonna work. Cause imagine what it'd be like if you had to outrun 3 random guys. I mean, for example, an African American teenage girl, 16 years old, coming home from a house party, no alcohol in her system. And I figured like the 3 guys at the party, they were older, like 18 and 19 years old, and they're in their senior year. And they smell like beer. And one guy tried to put his hands on her. Yeah, squeeze the butt, and all of a sudden, hey, come on now, that's enough. You drunk, and get in the car, give me there. And then all of a sudden, she had the right to defend herself by stepping on his shoes, kicking him in the groin, and tasing him. And all of a sudden, she runs for her life. But unfortunately, the guy that was riding shotgun, he told the guy that grabbed on the teenage girl to get up. And then all of a sudden, the same guy that told the other dude to get up, he actually pulled out his gun. He shot her. Do you know that sometimes stalking can get somebody else killed? Do you know how far the stupidity this evil deed will last? If you don't believe me, then ask R&B singer Ashanti. She had a stalker. But how far did the stalker last when it came to dealing with Ashanti? Well, according to some internet source, he was sentenced to prison for 4 years. And there was another stalker, but this had something to do with Paula Abdul. Remember when she was a judge of American Idol? There was one woman who was so-called a wannabe, influencing and trying to be like the next Paula Abdul. She was on an audition for American Idol. Now, this was years ago for those that didn't watch American Idol. And she ended up not making it through Hollywood. But until then, she continued to worship, to show mad love for Paula, until she did the most redundant thing. Outside of Paula Abdul's home, the stalker, and it was a she, the wannabe, ended up dead. Probably from suicide. Was it overdose? I don't know. And she was laying outside of Paula Abdul's home. And Paula Abdul, when she saw the body, she had to act. She had to call the police and let them know that there's somebody dead. I mean, don't you think that's too much? And like I said before, some stalking can end up deadly. Most of them would end up behind bars. Most of them will end up with no friends until the stalker, he or she, makes up his or her mind to stop. I mean, the only thing that people don't understand is that they don't take the words "leave them alone" seriously. It happened to me. It can happen to you. Don't go for the dark, I mean, like the wrong path when it comes to stalking. Because actually, like the rap song I read out loud to y'all and giving examples when it comes to the celebrity world, it can get out of hand no matter what happens. So, yes. Just hear me out when I say it's not worth it. It's not worth your time. Stop wasting your time and focus on you. Do God a favor and stay in the right path. Don't even think about committing a sin like that. Now I know what you're thinking. What sin are you talking about, Taylor? Lust. The lust of the eyes. You keep your eyes open, but at the same time, keep your eyes focused on where you need to go. Not where your prize, where your prize, your pleasure is. Because sometimes your pleasures can be a distraction. It was like a temptation when Adam and Eve were in the garden, and the serpent got to Eve first. But not all women are evil. Men are evil too. But why are we always stereotyped like men are idiots while women are smart? That's what the Hollywood life is describing. Even in real life. But we can flip that around. But when it comes to stalking, like, for instance, if a stalker had the right to meet up the person that he or she made uncomfortable, what would you think that person would do? For starters, I would say apologize. Like, listen, I want to apologize for my behavior a couple months ago, a couple years ago. And people, like, after being warned about this and told to back off, do you know exactly how far their regret is getting to their head? Like, of course, an old song saying, "Don't let it go to your head, no." But instead, you're letting it stay in your head. You feel totally ashamed. You feel self-pity. You show remorse to yourself, but you're not doing a thing about it. I've been in this position. It sucks. It took me a while to realize that to turn that frown upside down and to get rid of the darkness, you got to apologize. You got to change. You got to do the right thing. And it doesn't take Spike Lee to let us know that. It doesn't take a song lyric. It doesn't even take a quote from your mom and dad or your friends. It takes a lot of heart. It takes a lot of God in your heart to make you see where you have fell off the wagon and now you got to get back up. You fell down, now you're getting up and find the same person that you had a hard time and made uncomfortable. That's why some people have signs. You got to follow the signs. One sign that I can think of, metaphorically speaking, is do not disturb. We all heard that word we all heard that phrase before. But do we listen? No, we do not. Leave them alone. Do some do it? No. No. Come on now. Come on, buddy. Come on, lady. This is 2020. March just begun, and y'all acting like y'all don't have a clue what to do after you get in trouble for stalking somebody, whether older or younger. And even when they look nice on a daily. But that's mostly for men to figure out. But women are doing the same thing too. That made me think of the movie Obsessed, starring Idris Elba, Beyonce Knowles Carter, and Ari Larder. I don't know if that's her name, but she's the same woman that was on the Final Destination movies, 1 and 2. And she was a blonde head. It's more than meets the eye, but at the same time, it's like a shame on you routine. There's always a shame on you routine at the end of this madness. If I continue to get in this position, I'll end up locked up or dead. Or no friends. And this is exactly what happens if you keep stalking. Let it go. Forget about it. Forget about it. Forget about it. Now, let's say that the stalker had an idea. And to keep up with how many times he sees the same person and does something for the same person. And then he realizes, or she, that he or she gonna have to turn the new leaf. So they get a brand new piece of paper, write down improvements. And let's say that the number one pet peeve that they want to get rid of is stalking. Do it. Just don't wait. Do it now. It doesn't take Sheila Buff to let you know. Just do it. No. Just take it easy. Calm down. Take a deep breath and go for it. If you feel like changing the old ways that you used to be in and to becoming better, like you want people to know you and communicate, all you got to do is talk. Like I said before, just say hello, compliment him or her, and that's it. But it took me a while. It took me a long time to figure this out. But sometimes I feel like some of the lessons I learned, I'm not learning enough. There are so many things that we all do not know yet. I mean, honestly, 45% we getting the hang of it. Like we listen, but the other 55 we don't give a dang. Come on. We gotta make it balanced. Or rise up. Like the more we listen and do something about it right here, and the less right here, like not caring. It got to go down. You like trying to weigh it. If it's balanced, you still gotta turn that to a whole new level. Like raise up the goodness and decrease the habit. You know what I'm saying? So let me break it down for you. I'm gonna tell you like this. Stalking was fun while it lasted to some. But others are doing it. Some even got involved. They're getting the hang of it. And who do we blame? The original people Who are the original people? When you can only rely on yourself. I rely on me for my faults that I've made. I rely on the lies I told. I relied on not caring, having my back against the wall, getting my feelings hurt, taking the shut up treatments too seriously, to the fact that I want to get out of my own family's home and have a 1 week break away from Maryland, away from Tennessee. But where to though? See, that's the point. You can't do things on your own all the time. It takes more than one person to figure it out. Because if it's going to be like, you're going to create a crew, like you just walking on the streets and then all of a sudden some random people walk with you and they got their bags packed. What are you going to sing? We Shall Overcome? Black Betty, Bam a Lamb, whoa, Black Betty, Bam a Lamb. Or sing some blues, or sing some gospel tunes. Try to overcome the darkness and head straight to the light. But even if you have a 1 week break, you got to stop walking and realize, wait a minute, what the heck am I doing? I've been walking for miles, knowing that walking away from my issue is not enough, because it doesn't work that way. So, until then, find a way to rid this behavior, rid this crime, rid this evil deed. Stalking. You cannot continue to stalk. Take the ST out and replace it with W. No more do I want to stalk. Because in this corner, that's when you're going to have to start your life over again. Talk is cheap. Stalking is a crime. Go that way. Walk. Walk your way out of the situation. And in the end of the day, you're going to feel like, okay, I feel good about this. Cause Slick Rick, he said a quote. And what was the quote? I shouldn't have done it. Just like the crimes that he committed. And when it comes to relationships falling apart, like a breakup or divorce, for a man cheating or a woman not being honest and being supportive for her children, I shouldn't have done it. No more, it wasn't me's. It's going to be like, I shouldn't have done that. Because sooner or later, you're going to look at yourself in the mirror and realize that the person that you stalk is in the reflection. And in Living Color, the African American rock band said it best. Neon lights, Nobel Prize. When the mirror speaks, the reflection lies. You don't have to follow me, 'cause only you can set me free. Cult of Personality, 1988 or 89. Learn a thing or two about stalking. If you don't understand what it means, look in the dictionary. Look online at Google. Type up what it means, and you see for yourself. It's a verb. Well, let's kill this verb and heal with words like I'm sorry. Because when you know you did wrong, you're going to have to apologize for all the dumb things you've done. And that's the only pet peeve that gets me and everybody else to see where their life is at. That's why I made it clear on this episode. Because Coal Man's Winter, it also includes the truth. Like the ugly truth that we deal with and go through on a daily basis. But the question is, what would you do? And that's why it's important that I say something. Because a long time ago I talked about procrastination. Last video, sexual harassment. Now this one is stalking. It's deep. I can rant all the time I can in this world, but I'm going to have a feeling that I'm going to repeat the same things over and over and over and over and over and over again over one video. And then over and over and over and over and over again. Stop. You are not a typewriter. You are not the sprinkler. Just come up with something new, different. But yes, stalking, whether personally, like in the real world, or on the internet, social media, like looking up addresses for a person that you do not know, and like that gotta stop. People don't have interest in you. They don't know you, so leave them alone. Otherwise, you can get exposed for the crime you committed. Every sin is considered a crime, and you are all proven guilty. Nobody's innocent. But the only way to prove your innocence is if you tell the darn truth. I told the truth about stalking. Now that one person I talked about earlier, that was from my childhood. It's not simple to move on when you have so much weight on your back. Sometimes you need to unzip your book bag, take out the bricks, and move lightly. Like, let the past be the past. Don't screw up your future as much as you're not going to screw up your present. Because anyway, the present, that's on you. What you going to do now? And will it reflect tomorrow or the years to come? The best is yet to come, but then again, the worst. And there you have it. Another Coal Man's Winter situation that I decide is important for y'all to understand. Because it really sucks if you don't get your life together. So with all that being said, if you really like this video, like what I'm talking about, even if it made you cry, even if it made you want to change your life, like get on top of things, apologize to the people that you've had a hard time dealing with because of the stalking behavior. There are so many things that we gonna have to adjust, and I'm not the only one. I'm talking to you. The ones that are watching, you should understand how far life can really reflect on what you do for a living. And then all the evil deeds you've done, they're going to have to be killed. It doesn't take a gunshot to the head to kill it. It takes repentance. It takes walking away. Try to start clean to get on top of things. So anyway, like this video if you have not already. Comment if you feel like you've been in this position before. Even if you was a victim to stalking. Just let me know fair and square. Share if you haven't already, because if you share a video like this, The whole world's going to realize that there are some things that people are failing to realize. They failing to remember and to explain. Even for the children. Because we got to set better examples for them. And yes, the main thing you got to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel. And there will be more in stores. But it won't happen unless you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And there will be more in stores for the Cold Man's Winter series. So until then, well, I decided to end differently. Now, before I sign out, this episode that should have been recorded last weekend has been brought to you by Sweet Lady of Last Weekend. And this one, since I'm talking about stalking, I dedicate this video to one person that came to my mind based on this evil deed that I got myself into. And it takes more than a mother figure to let me know that I'm wrong. Because God is watching my every movement. And even you're going to have to rely on yourself. So this episode is dedicated to none other than Mrs. Jeanette Burton, an employee at Jackson State Community College in Jackson, Tennessee. Also dedicated to the victims that were stalked and also the stalkers themselves. And as a message, as a final reminder to all stalkers everywhere, GIT, get it together. But how are you going to do that? Just apologize and try not to be a disturbance. Try not to be a creep. And try not to make foolish decisions that will end up getting you locked up or get anyone killed. Because stalking must die, and my word is bond. Get it together. Until then, this is yours truly, Taylor Jones, signing out.